Hey guys, I'm Tara. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about Reiki. So Reiki is one of those healing techniques where people either love it or they kind of think it's bullshit. I was a Reiki skeptic too, but my perspective has changed. So let's look at the question, does Reiki actually work? Before we get into the rest of the video, just letting you guys know my Patreon is live. So that's a great place you could go to support me further and to just get more in-depth content. So in the Patreon, you get really long yoga flows each month. You get a nice long guided meditation, and we'll just be diving deeper into topics. So I'll put a link in the description down below for that. And with all that said, let's get back into talking about Reiki. So before we answer the question, does Reiki actually work? We first need to learn what Reiki is besides some woo-woo energy practice. So I do want you to have a basic understanding of what this practice is. So Reiki originated in Japan, therefore Reiki is a Japanese word. So when we translate Reiki to English, it helps us understand what this practice is all about. So the first part of the word is Rei, and this relates to a higher power. And Rei can also be defined as just spiritually guided. The second part of the word is Ki, and this means life force energy. So when you put it together, Reiki is the guidance of spiritual life force energy. So a Reiki practitioner channels this life force energy from a higher power into whatever they're intending to heal. So this could be another person, it could be an animal, maybe even a plant, maybe they're doing Reiki on themselves, or you could also guide this energy toward the collective. And similar to practicing yoga, when we say higher power, it doesn't have a specific name. So you may just say higher power. Some may call it the divine. Some may call it the universe. Maybe some call it God. The name doesn't matter. It's about the intention of connecting with this higher power of love and bringing it into our material world. So you could think of Reiki as a transfer of energy. So the energy transferred with Reiki is pure, beautiful, loving energy intended to help and heal for the highest good. And everything in our world is made up of energy, including you. Since we are energy, energy healing such as Reiki can be really impactful. Energy healing can help with healing the entire being, meaning the body, the mind, the spirit, the emotions. So our entire being, right? Not just the physical body. This type of healing definitely goes deeper. So I just want to say a little disclaimer here before we go on. So although Reiki is a healing practice and it can be really impactful, it's not intended to replace modern medicine, but to be used in addition to it. So just a little reminder, and if you're still feeling skeptical about if Reiki works after learning about it and learning the description, I do understand. I used to be skeptical too. Before I began to open up to my own spiritual side, I definitely kind of thought Reiki was bullshit. I remember first hearing about Reiki at a yoga studio that I was going to and thinking like, how the fuck is that going to do anything? So things have really come a long way in my life from where I used to be to where I am now. And I'm definitely really happy that they did. Once I started my own spiritual journey, my perspective towards Reiki healing really did start to change. And since there are pretty limited studies on Reiki, I figured I'd share with you my own experience so that then you can make your own conclusion on whether or not Reiki works. So I'm currently trained in Reiki. I've done the first 2 courses, but how I got there wasn't because I was like totally sold on Reiki. Basically, my sister has been someone who's been very in tune with energy since she was young, and we both had been working on our spirituality, and I was already yoga certified, so I thought, let's take a Reiki class. I thought it would be cool to learn. So I honestly signed up more for her. I mean, I was kind of interested in it, but I wasn't like totally sold on Reiki healing. So we did our first Reiki training, and an important point to remember is that anyone can do Reiki. Some people may have a more natural inclination towards it, but everyone has the ability to do Reiki. So in a Reiki training, your teacher will attune you to Reiki energy, and then with practice, you learn how to access and direct this energy. So at this time when I did my Reiki training, my oldest dog was having some issues. So he had been diagnosed with a really enlarged gallbladder. Like the gallbladder was really massive. So at this point, we already had done regular medication. We did rounds of medication. The gallbladder didn't change. It was still really big. I took him to a more holistic vet that gave me some herbal supplements for him. We tried that. Gallbladder was still really big, actually was getting bigger at this point. So I brought him to a surgeon who basically said, yeah, we can take the gallbladder out. And I was very hesitant to do it because if you don't know, which I didn't know before this happened, taking a gallbladder out in a dog is much more risky than it is in humans. So apparently it's the success rate of a gallbladder surgery, you know, the rates aren't what you want them to be. So I was very hesitant to do it. So she was like, all right, well, why don't we give it another month? We'll do another scan. Let's see where the gallbladder's at. So I had done my Reiki training. So I was like, you know what? For this month, every day, I'm going to do Reiki on my dog, Tyson. And this dog literally loves Reiki. Like, he's adorable. He goes in his spot. He literally halfway through the sessions usually will like flip over and he like shows his little belly where he wants Reiki on his gallbladder. So we did Reiki for that full month. I brought him in to do his scan again. I'm obviously really nervous about the scan. And the vet calls and she says, yeah, I don't think we need to do surgery and I don't really need to see him to follow up. And I was like, seriously? And then I asked her, I was like, well, what does it look like? Did it like stay the same? Like, what's going on? And she's like, yeah, it did actually seem like it started to get smaller. So she didn't think surgery was necessary and didn't even think that she needed to continue following up with him. So I was like, what are the chances that the gallbladder had been getting bigger up until this point, and then the 1 month that I do Reiki on him for every day for a month, that the gallbladder gets smaller? So was it the Reiki sessions? I mean, I don't have any evidence that that's what it was, but it does seem likely that that could have been what helped him. And that was about 2 years ago at this point, and we really haven't had any issues with his gallbladder. And yeah, I don't do Reiki every day on him anymore, but I do usually do it like once a week or so for him because he really likes it. And animals tend to be more receptive to energy healing. I will say that because for Reiki to work, if you go for a Reiki session and you're totally closed off and you think like this isn't going to work, or you really just don't believe in it, or you think it's bullshit, it's probably not going to work because your energy is going to be closed off to it. So you really do have to be open to it. And animals really don't have those preconceived notions to be like closed off to it. So they do tend to be more receptive to energy healing. But yeah, pretty incredible. So that's my story. That was my first experience with Reiki. I've had other experiences since then, other healing experiences, but that one was really impactful for me because it really was the first time that I had even used Reiki. So it really changed my mindset on it. And then I did my second Reiki training after that because I was totally sold. I do have one more story about energy if you think like being able to transfer energy is bullshit. It's not directly a Reiki story, but I will share this with you. So me and my sister who did the Reiki training, she's always been very like in tune to energy. So we had been practicing like reading auras, and to read auras, basically you want to kind of stand in front of like a white wall. So like there's no distractions because you're working to see the color of the aura. So yeah, we were doing that. Before we started practicing, we did a meditation together. And after the meditation, my hands felt like really intense. Like I could feel the energy like pulsating through my hands. So I didn't say anything to her. We went and we were doing our aura reading. So she was reading my aura. So I was standing at the wall, and you basically kind of have to like really focus while you're doing it. So she's focusing and I'm standing there, and I could feel the energy in my hands, like literally pulsating so intensely, like probably more intense than I've ever felt it. So I don't know what happened in that meditation, why I felt the energy so strong, but yeah. So I'm standing there and she's looking at me, working to read my aura, and she goes, she's like, I can't see the color because the energy in your hands is so distracting right now. She's like, all I can see is just so much energy around your hands. And I swear I did not say anything to her about that happening. So that was just really interesting and really cool on her part that she could see energy like that. But maybe another story that will help you believe more in energy work and think maybe it is something to be considered. So those are just some examples. I have had other experiences with energy healing and with Reiki, but I did want to share those two with you because they were pretty profound for me, especially the one with my dog. The one with my sister is just kind of cool that she saw my the energy in my hands. But yeah, so does Reiki actually work? I definitely think it does. I went from total skeptic to now a believer, and total skeptic if I go back to many years ago before I even started down the spiritual path. So I definitely have come a long way, and I'm glad that I've opened up to it. And I don't think Reiki or energy healing should replace modern medicine. I think modern medicine is a blessing that we have, but I do think using Reiki in addition to modern medicine could be something that could be definitely helpful for a lot of people. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being open to learn more. So keep learning, keep opening yourself up to new experiences, new ideas, and yeah. Thanks for being here. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button right below me, and I'll see you guys in another video. Bye guys.